On the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell in your afternoon drive. Kurt Kaplan on the ones and twos. Joining us on the Rob Dibble Show hotline, Anita Marks.
Woo!
Former professional football player herself.
That's right.
You hear her on the Daily Wager and 98.7 out of New York. Also, she's a pickleball queen now.
Mm-hmm.
Anita, how are you?
I'm great. I am a pickleball queen. I'm not going to be shy about it. I'm not going to be humble.
Good.
I am a pickleball queen.
All right. Before we get to that, we were just talking football weather. Now, I do know you played down south, but to you, whether it be men or women, football weather is what to you?
Well, I mean, again, I'm born and raised in Miami, so football weather to me isn't cold. Like, you know, we play football on Thanksgiving morning, and it's 85 degrees. So, you know, I mean...
All right, so you were spoiled, but now you're in New York. Now you're in New York, and you go to Jets and Giants games, or even Buffalo and Patriot games. What is it? Let's say New England football weather to you.
Yeah, I mean, so football weather up here in the Northeast is obviously, yeah, it's cold. I get it, but... I just, here's the thing, you know, when you talk about, okay, football weather, what happens when it's too cold, when it's snowing? It's all about defense, and it's all about running the football. So now you're taking the passing game out of the equation.
Thank you.
Oh, well, that's a receiver. Brent's like, it's too cold. I had to have my little furry hand warmer.
I don't agree with that, right? I don't, because now you're handcuffing a team that might have a stronger passing game than rushing attack.
Thank you.
So I don't necessarily agree with that. You know, I like teams that are coming in like 100%, like full effect, like, you know, it balanced, like there's no you know, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no advantage for a team because it's cold weather and they can't run the ball well. However, you know, you can argue and say, well, isn't that the responsibility of the general manager to go out and construct a team that is going to win in December and is going to win in January and is going to make it to the postseason and ride through the playoffs because they have a strong rushing attack? You know, you can make that argument, right? So I can see both sides.
Speaking of strong rushing attack, I want to know your thoughts on Philadelphia's tush push.
Hey, it's legal. What I don't understand is why aren't more teams doing it, right?
My point exactly.
Now, if it's legal, okay, it's legal, right? We've decided it's legal, it's allowed. Then why aren't more teams? It's unstoppable. It's unstoppable. So if you're an offensive coordinator, why aren't you spending time at practice trying to replicate what the Eagles do? Because, again, it is unstoppable.
Wouldn't you? I said this to Ben. I came in on Monday. I'm like, listen, why don't we put 3 linemen behind the linemen, push the guards and the center and the quarterback all at the same time for a yard?
Here's my thing, like, and again, I should be more in the know here, but like, isn't it illegal to push from behind?
Now it is.
Say you can't drag,
right?
You can't pull.
Wasn't that a thing with Reggie Bush and USC?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And
Matt Leinart. Yep. Well,
right. When they won the national championship, wasn't that like a little like a conversation piece? Like,
it was illegal.
Wait a minute, was this illegal? You're really not allowed to push from behind. They did. So is that legal? Is that illegal?
We dove into this, Anita, and college and high school, it is assisting the runner with a push. However, in 1992, the NFL eliminated the push and said that you cannot pull or carry. You can push, but you can't get that hand on the outside like a buddy and then bring him across the line from you. So I always thought it was illegal. It hasn't been called since the early 90s in almost every single form and facet of football.
Yeah, I don't quite get it. But just to sum up our conversation, if the NFL is allowing it to happen, and of course we saw it on Monday night with the Philadelphia Eagles, if the NFL is allowing it to happen, then then do it. You know, more teams should be able to do it. That's my take on it.
I'm with you.
Talking to Anita Marks from Daily Wager 98.7, great handicapper. Let me ask you about poor Zach Wilson, man. He's taking a lot of heat. I don't think it's all just on him.
Really?
Now, listen, the coaches have to try to get somebody in there that can give them the best chance.
No, kids, listen. This is not what. Why am I drawing a blank now? What's his name? This is not what Nathaniel Hackett signed up for, dude. Nathaniel Hackett came here to be Aaron Rodgers' concierge, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Like, hey, man, I'm over here on the sideline. Whatever you need, Aaron, you let me know. Like, I'll watch from afar. I'll give you some suggestions. I'll tell you what's working. I'll tell you what's not. That's what he signed up for. Not this. Not having to quote unquote coach somebody. Heck, he couldn't even coach Russell Wilson in Denver. What makes you think he can coach
It's a great point.
Zach Wilson here in New York? This is not what he signed up for. This is not what they were anticipating. I'll tell you where it all went wrong. And that was with Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas and this organization coming out as soon as Aaron Rodgers went down. These dudes needed to be on the phone. We're gonna scour the NFL. We're gonna call about Gardner Minshew. We're gonna call about Andy Dalton, who we both saw start and kept their teams relevant this week. Let's reach out and see if there's any interest in trading Ryan Tannehill from Tennessee. Let's see if the Minnesota Vikings would be interested at any given time, at any point in time, trading Kirk Cousins. Let's see what we can do. We have developed such an amazing roster here. They're so good to potentially win a Super Bowl. We need to get a... No, that's not what happened. What happened? They came out, oh, no, Zach Wilson is our guy. Are you kidding me?
Well, I didn't agree with that.
If I'm a defensive player, heck, if I'm Lazard, if I'm Rob Dobbs, if I'm Dalvin Cook, if I've come to the Jets to win a Super Bowl behind Aaron Rodgers, and he goes down, and you're not doing your due diligence as an organization to bring in a viable, legit quarterback to help us win, dude, you have lost me. And I would imagine, I know Rich Cimini, who does a phenomenal job covering the Jets for ESPN, he reported that today, and I believe everything he's writing, because if I'm in that locker room, I'm like, what? I didn't sign up for this. This isn't what our game plan. And you know, I would believe that if Aaron Rodgers went down, that you guys would do your due diligence and bring in a legit quarterback to help us win a Super Bowl. Zach Wilson can't even help us get a first down. What are you doing?
How did Dibbs' Cowboys lose to the Cardinals this week?
What do you say?
How did Dibbs' Cowboys look so average against the Cardinals and lose that ball game this week?
Well, two things. Number one, I'm still not sold on Dak Prescott.
You and me both.
And let's be honest, if Dak Prescott would not have thrown that interception, I don't know, would the Dallas Cowboys would have won that game? Maybe. That's number one. I'm not sold on him. And number two, a lot of times teams come in, they underestimate another team, right? They think about this. You're the Dallas Cowboys. You destroy the Giants, and then you see the Giants come back in the second half and beat the Arizona Cardinals. So now you're coming in and saying, "Oh man, we got this baby in the bag." Like, you know, the horrible Giants who we obliterated came back from 20-0 down in the second half to beat this team. Oh, we got this. This is a walk in the park. This is a bye week for us. So, you know, I think, you know, and also, you know, week 3 is a very interesting week in the NFL. You know, in my opinion, because of the collective bargaining agreement and teams not practicing, like they should, especially tackling like they should in the preseason, you really don't have a good idea of what a team really looks like, I think, for the first 4 weeks of the season. So I think maybe we underestimated Josh Dobbs and the Arizona Cardinals, and I think maybe we gave too much credit to the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott.
All right, Anita, let's handicap a few games. Dolphins, Bills. Bills are a home dog, 2.5 right now. Seems a bit low, a team coming off 70 against the Broncos. What are your thoughts, Dolphins, Bills?
Yeah, I mean, how can you not love this Dolphins team after, they put up 70 on the Denver Broncos, right? You've got to give credit where credit's due, and, what that coaching staff is doing with that offense. 80% of their offensive plays, they have pre-motion. So now, understand, you've got pre-motion with a bunch of players that and an offense that has exceptional speed. So now, when you put these guys in pre-motion, by the time the ball is snapped, now it's even. Not only are these guys faster than the average bear, but because they're in pre-motion, by the time the ball is snapped, they're already it's exponential, right? In regard to a standing still DB. So the way that they're calling plays, the way that they're putting these players in pre-snap motion, it's really unbelievable. I mean, we should be talking about Coach of the Year right now in the way that they're running this offense, and they have so much speed. Nobody can stop them. So I like the over in that matchup. The Buffalo Bills secondary and their pass defense has nothing to write home about. They have not been great this season, and so I think a lot of points are going to be put up in that game. If there was a play that I would make there, it would be the over in the game total.
A really weird start for the New York Giants, and getting blown out in the first week by Dallas. The comeback win against the Cardinals didn't really have much to show on Thursday Night Football against a really good San Francisco team. And now they find themselves even, no spread attached. This is a pick'em game as the Seattle Seahawks come to town on Monday Night Football. What do you think about your Giants so far? Just like you said, it's hard to tell in the first 3 weeks, but what do you know about the men in blue?
Yeah, so let's I know it's a microcosm, but let's take a look, right? We can arguably sit here and say that the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys are the top 3 or top 5 best teams in the NFL, right? I think many people out there would agree to that.
Yeah.
So they got their butts handed to them against Dallas. They were out on the left coast for 2 weeks. They were missing 2 of their best players, Andrew Thomas, their starting left tackle, and Saquon Barkley when they went up against the 49ers. Offensively, they played very conservatively. I'm not sitting here. I don't want to throw Brian Dable or the Giants organization under the bus. I think they were looking at this like, you know what, we're going to lose anyway. And I know teams are not supposed to think that way, but maybe they were thinking, hey, we're going to lose anyway. Let's get in and let's get out without any more injuries. We're going to play conservatively. We're not going to keep in mind only 11 rushing attempts that game. Only 11. Daniel Jones only had 2 designed runs. Only 2. So I look at those stats. I watched that game, and again, I know this is unheard of. And you don't want to think this, but I think the Giants came in saying, we're going to lose this game anyway. Let's get in, let's get out, let's get home to East Rutherford, where we've got 10 days to get healthy and to get ready for the Seattle Seahawks. So, they got their butts handed to them by the Dallas Cowboys, again, which we can argue or agree that they're a top 5 team in the NFL, right? And then,
your dogs don't.
They came back a very impressive second half against Arizona,
right?
And then I think they waved the white flag in regard to the 49ers, and now they're back home. They're trying to get healthy. Hopefully they get Andrew Thomas back. Hopefully they have Saquon Barkley back. And I think they beat the Seattle Seahawks this week. I think this is a much better Giants team than what we saw this season so far, 3 games. And if they can beat Seattle, they'll be 2-2. And then they go on the road against Miami and Dallas. And if they can beat one of those teams, if they can win one of those 2 games on the road, this is a Giants team that'll be 3-3, and the rest of their schedule is not as difficult. And I think that they very well could still win 9 games this season and still be in the running of potentially getting into the postseason as a wild card this season. I think the Giants are a lot better than what we've seen so far this year.
Ezekiel Elliott and the Patriots come back to Dallas. Dan Quinn had some good things to say about learning after that Cardinals loss. Who do you like in the Patriots-Cowboys matchup?
Listen, you guys know I love Mac Jones, and I love Bill O'Brien there with him, right? As bad as Zach Wilson is, that was a really, really good Jets defense. So, I think we're only going to see Mac Jones improve throughout the season under Bill O'Brien's tutelage, and I think this is going to be a close game. I don't have a winner here. I don't have. I just don't have the word I'm looking for. Conviction. I don't have true conviction in regard to who's going to win or lose this game. I do believe that it'll be close, and I think the Patriots defense. I think this is going to be a really good defensive battle, and I think it's going to be close.
Where do you think Jonathan Taylor is going to be in a few weeks? As a Colts fan, man, it would really be great if he wanted to play for the Colts, but all signs says he has no part of being on the Colts. You would think the Cleveland Browns would reach out after Chubb went down, but they went for Kareem Hunt. Forget about Miami. They've got 2 great running backs that just wrapped off 200 yards against the Broncos last week. And I saw that the Ravens have no interest in bringing on Jonathan Taylor and making a trade. Is he just going to fall into the realm of Le'Veon Bell like a couple of years ago?
I'm sorry, you broke up there for a second. What running back are you talking about?
Jonathan Taylor, the one that hasn't played at all.
I think the Colts are sitting back and waiting for the right offer. And listen, we're seeing running backs go down like flies.
Right.
So I think I hate to be a negative Nelly, but I think we're going to see more injuries occur, and I think they're sitting back and waiting for a team who's on the cusp of potentially making a run, trying to win a Super Bowl, and will offer a lot for Jonathan Taylor, and I think the Colts are waiting for that offer.
Continued success on the pickleball courts, Missy, and we'll talk to you soon. Stop beating up on those old guys.
Listen, I'm going to be up. I'm going to be up in Bristol tomorrow through Saturday. I think I'm going to play at Wolcott Park.
Yeah, Wolcott Park.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'll be out there bright and early Friday morning. You want to come out? Let's go. I'll kick your ass.
All right.
I'll watch. I've never played pickleball, so I'm not about to get on the pickleball court with you.
It's not that big.
Come on.
Move side to side, Dibs.
All right.
I bet you got a great right hand.
Yeah, I used to. Anyway.
I'll see you guys there. 7 a.m. Friday.
Thank you, Anita.
Thanks, Anita.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back through the Daily Pickle, talk some MLB. Mets, Marlins playing a doubleheader. They're out there right now. It's 0-0 in the first inning. We'll be right back. Oof.